Again, really appreciate everybody being here. Got some good volume today on this microphone. So start out by thanking you guys for coming here to see us today. It's an exciting time for us. Really proud of this football team, like I've said consistently all year. They've worked their tail off, and they've put themselves in a position to earn the reward of playing in a bowl game, and we're really excited about going to the Bahamas and playing in the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. We've got a really good opponent. We're playing in Western Michigan. They've got two outstanding receivers. Both of them have caught over 1,000 yards. Their quarterback's thrown for 3,000 plus, and their running backs are very talented. I think one of them's got over 800, and the other one in the 400, 500 range. So really good offense. They're very balanced. Pretty even, 50%, close to 50% run pass. A couple things that stand out to me the most about them offensively is they're number 2 in the country in time of possession with almost 35 minutes a game. So that means they're good on third down, which they are. They're 13th in the country on third down. So we've got to do a great job defensively on third down. It's going to be one of the keys of the game. And then offensively, we've got to make sure we protect the ball because, the possessions may be limited in a game like this. So they're very balanced. They're a really good offensive team. Defensively, you can say the same thing. They've done a nice job creating turnovers. They've done a nice job. They're pretty good on third down defense as well. They haven't given up a lot of big plays. Their scoring defense is one of the tops in the MAC. So again, we're playing against a defense that is really good. They're coming off a great win the last game of the year where they beat Toledo, the number 24 ranked team in the country, who had previously, earlier in the year, had beaten Arkansas at Arkansas. So I think everybody knew or knows how good Toledo is, and for them to go there and beat them at the end of the year is a tremendous win for them. They're very good, solid in the kicking game. They've had some really good kickoff returns against the teams they've played. They're one of the top teams in the MAC in punt. So we're playing against a good team. This is going to be a great challenge for our guys, but one that we're tremendously excited about playing, and got a lot of confidence in our team right now. I like our mindset, like I've said the whole year. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you may have.
Coach, how have the first practices and preparation have gone here, and does anything change when preparing a team for a bowl game, or treating this like any other game?
Well, I think the practices, we've only had 2 practices because of recruiting and final exams. So we went the Saturday, we practiced the Saturday after the San Antonio game, and then we lifted and we ran that following week, and we met offensively and defensively on Friday, and then we had a good practice Saturday. So in the 2 practices and the meetings that we've had leading up to today have been very good. They've been very spirited. Our energy is good. Our concentration and focus is good. Practices won't change a whole bunch. The thing that you've got to realize is you got to get your work done this week. We have to have a great week of preparation this week because once you get to the bowl site, once you get there, your practice time is limited because of the different functions that you have to go to for the bowl. So we've got to make sure we get our work in. We've got to do some live tackling, live work this week because we haven't tackled in 2 weeks. So, in the normal course of the season, we wouldn't tackle, during this time of the year. But since we haven't had any live work in 2 weeks, it'll be 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks leading up to this game that we'll have to do a little bit of live tackling this week. So from that standpoint, it'll change a little bit. And then the only other changes will be that we'll keep those younger guys out there, the red shirt guys that are playing but not getting many reps. We'll keep them out there about 30 minutes after each practice and work with those guys. But for the most part, our practice routine will stay the same.
Coach, looking at the offensive weapons that you guys have and Western Michigan has, could this be another shootout like last year's game?
I hope not. I hope we can score, and I hope our defense can slow them down. So I don't know. You don't just because this team's got a good offense and that team's got a good offense, you don't know. I like our defense. I think our defense will rise to this challenge. They'll rise to the occasion, just like I think our offensive players and offensive coaches, this team will rise to this. So you don't go into thinking it's going to be, a high-scoring game. We've played a lot of good teams this year with a lot of offensive weapons on both sides of the ball, and some games have been 27-24, and other games have been higher-scoring games. So, it's just we've got to, again, we just have to prepare and, play sound, fundamental, competitive, tough football.
Coach, you talked about with the young guys and having extra practice time. Is that one of the real benefits that you have is that by going to a bowl you get those extra practices and almost like a second spring for some of the younger guys?
I think that's good. I think, you look at a bowl, it's a phenomenal reward for our players and for our team because not everybody can do it. Not everybody gets to go to a bowl. These seniors have been bowl eligible 4 out of 4 years. These seniors have won 72% of their conference games the last 4 years. These guys have got a chance to win 30 games in their career. So there's a lot of things that this bowl affords a team. And one, I'm proud of this team because of the resiliency and the toughness and the competitive spirit that they've shown throughout this year to earn the right to play in a bowl game. And so I'm happy for them that they get that reward. And then to finish up your question, Chip, these guys, for the most part, the redshirt guys, they've been reading a card. The coaches stand up with a card and tell them where to go, run this route, block it this way, because they've been the show team for whoever we've played. So now you get a chance to go 30 minutes. We may be out there a little bit more. You can't go much longer than that because we don't have enough guys. But this time, this practice that they're getting is invaluable. That they're going to get, they've already had 2 days. They're going to get 6 more days. 8 days of just concentrated work, individual work for them. That it's critical for a lot of these guys, and it'll help them as they go into spring practice.
Once you get to the bowl site, how delicate and is the balance between fun and the work that has to be done?
Well, I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun for these guys, but also, have the mindset that we're here to win the game. That's the main objective. The second most important objective is to have fun and enjoy it, because you don't want to put in all the work, all the sacrifice, all the hurt, all the pain, all the crying, throughout the year for 11 and a half months. And then you get down to the bowl site and the coach makes it miserable on you, that you can't enjoy it. So there's a fine line that we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy it. Some of these guys will never go back to the Bahamas. It's the first time I've been to the Bahamas was last Thursday. I don't know if I'll ever go back after this one. So I want them to enjoy it, but understand there's a time to work and there's a time to enjoy. And when you work, you work. And when there's a time to enjoy, you enjoy, but you don't let the enjoyment affect the work the next day. So we'll have a good time. They'll enjoy it, and they'll understand their responsibilities and accountability to each other in this team.
Coach, I understand this is a team sport, but Brent is 381 yards away from breaking Jameis Winston's freshman passing record. Have you thought about that and what beating that record could do for Middle Tennessee and recruiting in the future?
To be honest with you, no, ma'am. I know it's out there. I've heard that. The objective is to win the game, and if we throw for 81 yards or 381 yards. As long as we win, that's all I care about. And you ask him, he'll answer it the same way. So, you know, the objective is to win. I'm proud of all these individuals that made all conference and the recognition that they've gotten individually. But this is a team sport. It's always been a team sport, and it'll always be a team sport. And the day you start putting individuals ahead of the team, then you're not going to be successful as a team. And, you know, hope he gets it, but I hope we win more importantly than that.
Looking at the seniors like Kevin and, you know, Stockstill or whoever else, how are they really approaching this game compared to, say, the Armed Forces Bowl?
I hope they're approaching it, you know, the same way, you know, that you approach it. I hope they're approaching it the same way they approach San Antonio. I'm hoping they're approaching it the same way they approach whoever we played, Jackson State, Charlotte, whoever. You know, that you get one opportunity to play a game a week, and this is a chance, you know, to play in a bowl game. And yeah, obviously this is their last college game that they'll ever play. So there's always a little bit different emotions that go through that. But the bottom line is you prepare to play your best game this week. And when you start, you know, thinking about other things that really don't affect the way you're going to play, you're not going to play as effectively and efficiently as you need to play. You know, so they just need to approach this game like they do every game, and then when they're in the locker room after the game or they're on that plane coming home, you know, then they can reflect on their season and on their career.
Coach, aside from being a part of the college football playoff, is there any better bowl to be heading to than the Bahamas Bowl?
You know, I really wouldn't think so, and we're very fortunate in Conference USA that we've got some phenomenal bowl destinations, and most of them are really warm weather destinations. And but you think about it, you know, you're a college athlete, a college student athlete, and you get to go to the Bahamas to play a game. Somebody's going to put you up in a hotel room's about $700 a night. You know, they're paying you to go down there and play a game. And I think it's just going to be a phenomenal, unique experience for everybody involved in this. And this team, these guys have earned it. They've earned the right, and to me, that's what's going to make this game that much more special for them.
When you were down there last week, do you remember thinking at any point when you saw the surroundings and the beauty of it all, boy, this is going to be a big coaching challenge for me to keep my players' heads in the business at hand and not the fun?
Well, obviously as a coach, you concern yourself with everything. But, you know, I said this, I go back to when we were 2-4 and 3-5, and I kept saying how much I liked this team, how much leadership, what great leadership we had within this team. And to me, that hasn't changed. And when you go down the Bahamas, now you rely on your leaders. You rely, not your seniors and your juniors and your freshmen, everybody. You rely on your team to stay focused and be accountable to each other and understand why we're really there. And yeah, enjoy it. And that's what I said earlier. Don't let your enjoyment affect your performance the next day at practice. Or don't do something to jeopardize yourself playing in this game because of you enjoyed too much of the Bahamas. So, you know, I'll talk to this team about it, the distractions and the focus that we have to have while we're there, and just understand that the objective, why we're really there.
These long layoffs between the regular season and bowl games, usually teams have a little rust to shake off. How are you preparing your team to make sure that they're they're as crisp as they were against UTSA.
You know, we got a team of professionals, not professional players, but we got a team of professionals, and they know and understand their responsibility and how they have to prepare. And you know, like I said, we had, you know, almost 2 weeks. We had a week off and we practiced, had another week off and we practiced, and now we'll get a good 6 days here. We'll take Sunday off to travel. We'll practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and play Thursday. So we've got time. We just have to do a good job of taking care of our bodies, get our rest while we're here, and then when it comes time to practice, that we're focused and we practice. And if it takes staying out there a little bit extra after practice to get your timing back on this particular play or whatever, I have no doubt these players will do it. But we'll be prepared. We'll be prepared. Our coaches will do a good job of getting our guys ready to play.
With the number of injuries you had, that layoff could do you well. I saw Jeremy yesterday. It looked like he's still dragging his leg a little bit. You expect to get him or any of the other guys back that you were missing in the last game?
You know, I don't think we'll get anybody back that missed the games. I'm trying to think that missed games, you know, towards the end of the year. Jeremy's got a chance to get back. We'll see. You know, it's a long way to go before we play. So, but the guys, you know, the Jeremiah Brysons, you know, the Darius Johnsons, those guys that have been out, you know, they'll continue to be out.
Looking at the seniors again, with so much bowl experience or bowl eligible experience, is that a mental edge against Western Michigan going into this game at all?
You know, this is their second consecutive bowl game. You know, they'll be prepared. I don't think there's an edge either way. They'll be prepared to play this game, and just like we'll be prepared to play it. So we're just looking forward to this challenge and the opportunity. So I don't see, you know, they got a good team. They've got a really good football team. So I know their coaches will have them ready to play, just like we'll have our guys ready to roll.
Coach, since this bowl matchup was announced, how many people on campus have come out of the woodwork to say, if you need a little extra help there, we'd love to go along?
We've had a couple. You know, mostly I've had a lot of guys from the media, in fact, that, you know, have asked to see if they can slip on the plane and go with us. But, you know, you've had a few. You've got some, you know, friends in the community that have, you know, kind of joked about that a little bit. But, and again, it just goes back to, you know, the opportunity for these players to be able to go there, that not everybody gets the opportunity to do this. So this is going to be a special trip for us.